guys, it's Miss Sissy here with Cycle 1, week 21. Cannot believe that. 3 weeks left. Seems like the end of the year always goes super fast. I don't know if it does for you guys, but it does for me. Had kind of a crazy day today. I'm sure that you can tell I woke up this morning and my eye was almost swollen shut. I don't know what is going on. I'm not sure if I got something in it, if I'm having a reaction to something. But we're just gonna comb that over. Just call me Violet from The Incredibles. But anyway, so I woke up to that. My hand was swollen too. I do not know what's going on with me. So I'm gonna try to show you the hand motions, but my hand's a bit stiff. But hopefully I can at least describe what they're supposed to be. So anyway, enough about me. But we're gonna jump right into geography. So for geography with Canadian waters this week, these names kind of lend themselves well to doing motions for them. So we had the Great Bear Lake, and you have to put your arms up, paw, and we growled like a bear. So for Great Bear Lake. Then we moved down to the Great Slave Lake. We had to cross our arms just like we do in our timeline for slave. So Great Slave Lake. And then we had the Hudson Bay, and we sang it to what we sing in our timeline for Hudson Bay Company. So we said Hudson Bay, and then we would whisper really quietly, company, because the companies aren't really part of it, but that just helped us remember. So Hudson Bay Company. And then we had, I went over to the Labrador Sea because it was more easy for them to follow along with their finger right over to the Labrador Sea. So for Labrador Sea, you have to put your hands up like this, and you have to go like a dog. So we had the Labrador Sea, and then we followed the Labrador Sea up to the Baffin Bay, and we just really emphasized the B on Baffin Bay. So again, we had Great Bear Lake, Great Slave Lake, Hudson Bay Company, Labrador Sea, and going on up to the Baffin Bay. So that's what we did for geography. So I just started with one, did Bear Lake, Slave Lake, did those a couple times, then moved over and introduced a new one, then went Bear Lake, Great Bear Lake, Great Slave Lake, Hudson Bay, and kind of re-emphasize them each time we moved over to a new location. So that was geography today. Oh, I did use for geography, I forgot that I used these little guys. I used these. I think I've used them on here before. You can find them. I found them in the party section at Target, where they have like the little like party favor stuff. So they're just in like a little bag, and they're perfect. They don't fit on my finger super well. I can get it, on there okay, but the kids can actually slide it all the way back. And so we made their little monsters point to where they were finding their locations. Forgot to use those, so use those to find them. Okay, so for English, there is, I'm sure, a song out there for these, but I did not do a song. I used my voice cards, which I can't find right now. They're probably stuck down in my bag somewhere, but I used my voice cards. So I just passed out a card to each of the kids, let them pick, and we did voices. My voice cards are things like pirate speak, which was really fun because we have R for one of our words. So we did pirate speak, we did Your Royal Highness, which you have to say very proper. And then my son actually had your favorite animal at the zoo, and one of the kids yelled out peacock, so he decided that he wanted to do peacock. So we had to wave our arms behind us like it was our peacock tail and strut around very proudly while we said our helping and linking verb to be. So that's what we did for English, just went right around the table and said them like the voice cards told us to. For science, I remembered, because I've had this all year and haven't really been able to use it, that I have this blow-up globe that I got from the dollar store. I think I actually have a couple of these because I see them and I'll be like, oh, I need one of those, and then I forget that I have one. And so I just went ahead and drew on it with permanent marker. So we have our top line, which is the Arctic Circle, Tropic of Cancer, Equator, Tropic of Capricorn, and our Arctic Circle. I did try to do them exactly where they are. The Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn are labeled on these if you have one, but the Arctic Circle and the Antarctic Circle are not labeled. So I kind of looked to try and make sure that I got them. I think I got them in the right spot. So I went through it and said it, had the kids repeat after me, and then I let them each have a turn holding it and pointing and saying where they were and what they were on there. So that's what we did for science. This was really easy. I did make them hold up their hands and take a pledge that they promised to not throw the globe when it was their turn, because I didn't want it going all over the place. Now, if you have older kids and they're old enough they can throw it and it doesn't like derail the whole class, then you go right ahead. But I have the littles and they can barely hold it without dropping it. So for science, we needed some time out of our seats but sitting down. So we sat down in the floor and played hot potato with one of my little squeezy footballs again. So we just passed it around, and we sang through the chant, and if you ended up with the football, it kind of looks like a potato from this, if you did this side. If you ended up with it at the end, then you had to do however many jumping jacks I said. I usually say like 2, 3, or 4 jumping jacks. So we just go around and do it several times. I think we tried to do it both singular and plural 3 times today. So for history, I was not feeling super great last night, so I listened to the song, but I didn't really figure out anything awesome to do with it. Confession time. So we ended up just listening and dancing to it again. I know we've done that for the past few weeks, but I end up doing history at the end a lot, and they're kind of a little bit done by that point. And this song, all the songs pretty much lend themselves to dancing. This one, they did a really good job. We paired up and they just kind of danced back and forth to the accordion song. There are some really good videos out there on hand motions if your kids like hand motions. Again, my hand was kind of swollen today, so I couldn't do hand motions very well, so I was kind of glad I didn't play in any. But that's what we did for history. We just danced and listened to the song. I do read it through to them before emphasizing some words, but yeah, that was all. For math, I took some painter's tape before class and laid it out on the floor, and I made parentheses plus parentheses with some space there, plus with a space equals, I did all the equation without the A, B, and C, and then I let the kids pick a spot to stand in, and they were my A, B, or C. And so I would go and say parentheses, and the person, I would grab them and say A plus grab the person B, parentheses, plus grab the person C. You get the idea. And so what we would do is we would say the associative, and we would jump in our spot, law 4, and we did this for addition, cross this way, made our addition, did this for multiplication, cross this way for multiplication. And we did for addition, and I pointed out that it's just ABC, ABC. We just move our parentheses, and so they could, once they got the hang of where they were, they could jump and say their letter. And then I had them switch a few times because they all wanted to be in different places. After we did that a few times for addition, I went through and just kind of picked up my tape and rotated it, rotated my plus sign into a multiplication sign, and then we did the associative law for multiplication. So that was fun. They enjoyed doing that and getting to be the letters A, B, and C. If I was doing it again, I think I would give them a letter to hold, because once they had been letter C, they got kind of confused when they moved that they weren't still C. So I think I'd give them a letter to hold just so they remembered what letter they were when they were in a new spot. So, but live and learn. Okay, I think that's everything except for timeline. So for timeline, we have World War II and President Franklin D. Roosevelt. So you're going to do an F, a D, and an R. So an F is like an okay sign, like we've done for France, but you don't go back and forth. France is fancy. So just an F, and then a D, looks like that, and then an R, just like we've done for Revolution, fingers crossed, okay? So World War II and F, D, R. And then we have Stalin, so we're going to, this isn't an actual sign, but we're just calling attention to his impressive mustache. So Stalin of the USSR and the Katyn massacre. So you're going to take your finger, this is the sign for killing, I believe. I don't think it's time for death, I think it's time for killing. And you're going to take one hand and you're going to kind of like you're stabbing down through something. You do this, and I think you go like, I think it's like this, like everyone, like a lot of people. So a lot. So, the Katian Massacre, I did it a whole bunch because they killed a lot of people. So that's what I did for it. So Stalin of the USSR, Katian Massacre. United Nations, every time we do United, we bring our fingers up. You can do your pointer finger or your middle finger, okay? Then we have the Cold War. I've seen war done like this, but then I've also seen it with your hands facing in. So I'm not sure which one is technically correct, but either way, it's fine. Gandhi, we're going to make a G. So a G, again, looks like you're getting ready to pinch something, but it's your hand is up. So with Gandhi, it's open. And India, we always point to our imaginary bindi dot. And independence, you're going to have your thumbs crossed in front. This is an S for slave, and we're going to break free. Okay. Jewish state. So we're going to use 3 fingers and kind of stroke our beard because they, the Jewish elders usually have long beards. So Jewish state. And we're going to make an S, and just like we did for Babylon, we're going to do it here and then here, or like how we did for law. So state established, okay? And then we have Mao. So we've got our hand like this already. You're just going to take 3 fingers over top of your thumb. So that's your M, and we're going to hold it up. And then communist, we've done before, but you kind of just pump your arm in the air. Communist victory. In China, if you look at pictures of like more traditional Chinese garb, they have the 3 buttons on them. So that's where we're pointing. So it's shoulder, shoulder, and like kind of your mid, like right mid region, like right around where your liver is. So shoulder, shoulder, and then point to your middle. So that's all we did for today. Orchestra went great. I really liked listening to the Bach piece, and then also science was super fun with the rocks. I was a little confused what we were doing, but it was way simpler than I thought. So anyway, I hope you guys have an awesome week. I'll see you back here with week 22 next week, and I hope the sun is shining for you today like it is here. Bye, guys.